Okay, how are you feeling? Feeling okay. It's a lot of anxiety and uncertainty, especially with third years and how uni's going and trying to complete our degree and our dissertation. So definitely a lot of anxiety at the minute.
How are you feeling? So hi, I'm actually feeling quite good. Yesterday it snowed in Oxford, so it was a really nice start to the semester. Um, yeah, today is actually the first day of the semester.
Okay. Hi.
Hi.
So we're actually feeling quite good.
Yeah, so we're isolating together since lockdown.
Yeah.
Which is really nice. So like we've got each other, which has been really fun.
So this is where I'm isolating currently at the moment. How are you feel? I feel good. Finished uni, so yeah, I feel fine today.
Yeah, very good. Good day today actually. Went shopping. Big day.
So I am currently feeling a bit anxious about the future, about what the picture will look like in a couple months' time, when we'll get back to normality, or even will we ever get back to what life was like pre-COVID.
Feeling good. I mean, obviously COVID, it's not the best, but optimistic that this new vaccine is going to do well, then we can get back to normal.
Pleased to be on a lockdown, and I'm going home on Wednesday, but it's pretty unideal being stuck in the house and not really being able to go out to clubs, or if we go to the pub, only 6 people and it shuts at 11, so it's a big change from last year, but I suppose that's the government guidelines and we've got to do what we can to stop the spread of coronavirus.
Yeah, it's sometimes just annoying not to socialise with your mates, especially in the pubs. And you want to see loads of people, but yeah, you just can't with the rule of 6. So.
The third lockdown in the UK, which is, to be honest, a bit of a nightmare. It's quite demotivating, especially when you want to start the next year on a bit of a high. Slightly frustrated and a bit upset that obviously I can't go and do anything, can't really live my life, and there's a bit of difficulty with having sort of free will. I know that in the long term there will be a lot to look forward to.
Which country are you in? Are you from that country? I am in Poland and I am from Poland.
I'm currently in the UK in Oxford, but I am not from the UK. I'm from Singapore, or my family lives and works there. I'm currently here, but I am planning on moving back within the next few weeks.
I'm originally from Malaysia, but I'm currently staying in one of the student halls, but it's not managed by the university, which is a bit unfair because I believe the students who are staying in student halls managed by university are actually getting refunds or discounts or something like that, but we're not, so that's kind of strange.
We are currently in England, and yeah, we live here permanently, so this is also the only place we can isolate. I mean, not isolate.
Yeah, so we're isolating with Pip's family.
Oh yeah, with my family, so we know everyone we're isolating with, so we're not alone.
I am currently in England, in the United Kingdom, and which is where I'm born, and I'm from this country.
I'm from England and I am English.
I'm in the UK, that's where I was born as well, and currently at home.
I'm at my dad's house.
And what country is that in?
England.
Okay, and are you from England?
I am, yes.
So I'm currently in Oxford in England, and I'm from Northern Ireland.
I'm in Oxford and from England.
I'm currently in London in the UK, and I actually live in the UK, but I am not from London. I'm from the countryside, but I'm doing my master's degree here in London, and it's quite nice being in a city. I suppose being in the countryside, you're quite far away from everything, so it's nice, it's all open and spacious. But being in London, I suppose being in a lockdown, everyone's inside, but also there's still a few things going on. There's the hustle and bustle of the city, which is still quite a nice thing to see.
Is it the only place available for you to isolate, No, I could also be isolating in Oxford when I'm studying, but I decided to come home for the time being of the pandemics due to personal reasons, mostly financial reasons, of course. Because I was forced to quit my part-time job. That was one of my main incomes when I was at university, and now I'm solely financed by my parents. So it's easier if I'm in the family home.
And as for the places where I can isolate, I have one family member in the UK, but they are high risk, so I cannot isolate with them. And I have few friends, university friends, that I could isolate with over the Christmas break, as I was unable to go home because of flights and just general lack of information from government and university. And but after a certain point, you can only stay with people for so long without becoming an interference. So as I would say, this my university house where I'm currently is the only place where I can isolate at the minute. And I'm currently staying at private university accommodation, so private housing in Oxford.
This house isn't actually the only place for me to isolate. I can have the option of isolating at this is my family home, and I could isolate at university if I wanted to.
This is not the only place I can isolate. I can also isolate in Oxford. Kind of wish I was there, but I can't move now. You know, it's a predicament, but we're trying to work our way around that currently. And I am in student... Oh no, right now I'm in my family home, which is obviously good. You know, I get free food, which is nice, but, you know, family, tough, lockdown, oof. Still a good...
Currently at home, which is the only place that I can isolate. I do have accommodation at Lancaster University, but I've been told that I can't return back to that. Originally, I was told that I would be able to until the lockdown, where they then said it would be mid-February. But tonight I've been told that that will be pushed back to some date, but no idea as to what date that might be.
Is this the only place available for you to isolate?
It is not. Now I can go to my mum's house, which is in London,
Okay.
or I can go to my accommodation at Oxford.
Okay, so you actually have three options.
Yeah.
So right now you're in one of your family's home.
I'm in one of my family's home, yeah.
Currently over in England, this is the only place I can isolate unless I go home. But yeah, I'm pretty lucky to have a decent house to isolate in.
Yeah, I'm the same. Yeah, I could isolate here or homes.
Obviously, I can go back home to where my family live in the countryside, but I'm choosing to live here in London and stay here because my course is here, and also I'm living with friends, which is also quite nice. So I'm spending the lockdown with friends, which is a massive bonus. And so we're having a lot of fun and trying to make the most out of a bit of a rubbish situation.
Are you in student hall, student housing, or family home? I am in my family home. I could have stayed in the student house that I am renting. Are you alone with or living with people you don't really know? I am living with my family members.
I'm not alone. I have flatmates that have been bouncing in and out of the house. So fortunately enough, I have never had to be alone in the house. However, I know that's definitely not the case for a lot of international students in terms of either living by themselves in halls or living with people they're not familiar with or from a different culture, different language. So it has been really strenuous, particularly on international students.
I am not alone. I am actually staying with a couple of my flatmates. Right now, there's 3 of us. Originally, there's 6. But it's been really nice. We've been doing some activities, outdoor activities together, like walks and playing badminton, playing frisbee, just within our own household. And we've also been cooking together and watching movies. So it's been quite nice, actually. But during the Christmas break, it was a bit tough because there was only 2 of us and we had some issues with the plumbing in the flat. So well, that was a bit lonely, but now it's okay. And when during the lockdown during last semester, it was actually quite nice as well, because I had all of my flatmates. Obviously it was tough, but thankfully I was with really friendly and nice flatmates to be around with.
No, we're not in student housing because we're in first year, so we haven't got a
Yeah.
house or anything like that, so you have to be at home.
I'm at where I'm currently in lockdown now is at a family home. I am living with people that I know quite well, which is really fortunate. So I've got my family, I'm living with my family, which is nice.
No, so I'm living with obviously my family, who I do know very well. Some would say too well at this point.
So I'm currently on my own with my mum and grandma, and I do have a brother and sister, although they're in Manchester. So at the moment I'm feeling quite a bit like an only child, which is a very weird feeling for me, to be honest, because as I say, I've not been away from my brother and sister for this long.
And are you alone or living with people?
No, I've got my dad, my stepmom, and my other sister, and the dog.
And the dog. Okay, so you're not living with anybody you don't know?
No.
Yeah. So we're in like rented student house in the Cowley area.
We do know each other.
We do know each other, yeah.
Yeah.
So we live here with two other guys as well, but they've gone home because of the virus. Because one of them's from Germany and he couldn't get home if he didn't go home in November. And our other housemate's just gone back to Somerset, and we'll see them in the new year.
Obviously, I can go back home to where my family live in the countryside, but I'm choosing to live here in London and stay here because my course is here, and also I'm living with friends, which is also quite nice. So I'm spending the lockdown with friends, which is a massive bonus, and so we're having a lot of fun and trying to make the most out of a bit of a.
How would you say the support has been from your university? Financially, I received financial support during the first wave of the pandemics, and it was really helpful because I was really struggling with my financial situation. I also recently received a call from someone from university well-being team who asked me if I'm okay, if I need any psychological support. So that was really nice to see that university is really caring about students. It was a bit difficult to contact university in case of future arrangements. For example, now I'm struggling a bit to find information on how the examination session during this semester will be happening, because I'm sure that I can't come back till March, but I don't know when exactly can I come back.
In regards to support from university, I would say there could have been a lot more done to help not just university students, but particularly international students who are not only dealing with this pandemic, but dealing with this pandemic away from their homes and away from their families. Particularly from my experience as an international student, I've never been reached out to personally to check on me, to ensure that I was okay, that I was in housing, that I was not by myself, that I had the means in which I had food, I had just basic necessities to mental health awareness, that kind of thing. I was never reached out to personally, and I was lucky because I did have people to go to, but that's just not the case for most people.
So I feel like the support from the university has been quite nice. They actually got in touch with us international students to make sure that we were aware of their services, like well-being services and stuff. So that was actually quite good. However, I would say that like the university should be more strict with like how they're letting students in their facilities, such as the library, because like for example last semester some of the classes were still face-to-face, but I was unable to come for some of it because I realized that some students have been coming in while they were having like cold and stuff. So even though it's not the virus, but it still gave me a lot of anxiety and stress because I was, I couldn't help but feel worried that I might catch the virus because the university wasn't really checking like the condition of the students who were coming in. They just made sure that everyone was wearing masks. I feel like the university could have done more than that.
I think the university's actually been really bad. They haven't really sent us many emails or like told us what's going on. We're all just sort of sitting at home waiting, and I think all students feel the same. Like mainly the focus has been on like A levels and students.
So overall, when in lockdown at university, I would have said that the support could have been better. When I had to do my 2-week isolation period with coronavirus, they didn't really reach out that much. So I think that they could have put more of a time and effort into giving more support to students who had to isolate, especially students in halls or students who don't have gardens or living only with 1 or 2 people. Like if I was on my own, it would have been a lot harder for me to like get food and stuff, and if I didn't have friends who lived near me, that would have been really challenging. So I think that university could have definitely done more for students in isolation.
Support from the university, pretty poor. Haven't really done anything. They just told us, they pretty much done nothing.
And the support from my university has been very shocking, to say the least. Ultimately, when we start back at the start of the university year, our flat had to isolate, and they'd actually sent cleaners into our flat when we were isolating. We had little support from them. They were trying to charge us £18 a day for food boxes. They wouldn't pick up our COVID test kits, and there was just a general sense that they hadn't really thought us through very well, with no kind of procedures on how to do anything really when we were isolating. And as the year has progressed, it's been more of a case that ultimately I'm just a number to them, and I think that there's been many situations where it's been clear to myself that the university don't care about us. So they offered us a £400 rent rebate for the time that they were asking us to stay away, but this isn't equal to the amount of money that I would lose paying for rent. And ultimately, I just think that their support has been absolutely shocking.
Just talking about university, how do you feel the support has been from university recently?
I think it's been quite good. I think some aspects they could have done a bit better, especially for international students who've got stuck there. But on the whole, I think, especially my accommodation, have done very well.
I think
Not that good.
Not great.
Nah.
Like Brooks sent out a lot of emails
blaming people like for just having fun, and it's just such shit really.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Like students are gonna want to meet up and do stuff, and Brooks
finding an excuse like to not let that happen, and just like they say like university is the best time of our life, but it's not, like, especially with the virus, it's just not turning out that way. So
no, not at all.
My university have actually been really great. We've had a lot of Zoom calls, a lot of our lectures and stuff all done over Zoom. We've also had face-to-face contact, so we've had like enrichment sessions, which have been really beneficial. So I get to go in once a week to campus, and that is a real asset, because starting university again, you've got to kind of pick up from sort of where you've left off. You've got to make new mates, you've got to sort of, I guess, you've got to know your way around a certain area, like the campus. Also knowing the city quite well helps. So trying to make friends in a pandemic has been quite difficult.
How do you feel about the way that students have been portrayed in the media? I think that students are just manifesting their beliefs about the pandemics that is affecting everyday lives of everyone. And surely the university life that we are leading right now isn't the one we thought we will be having during this time. But all those regulations are implemented to help us stay healthy and help others stay healthy. So I guess both sides should be considerate. Of course, students shouldn't be as aggressive in manifesting their beliefs, but I also understand that they are not content with the current situation.
People to go to, but that's just not the case for most people. And in regards to how I feel students have been betrayed in the media, when we are mentioned, it's always in a horribly negative way, in terms of almost a blame game of that we've done something wrong, that we have made this pandemic worse, and then when it comes to guidance and briefings and government guidelines, we're hardly mentioned. So the hypocrisy of it is that we get a lot of the blame, but we never get a lot of the guidance. So all in all, I think students have been completely left in the lurch, and especially international students. Speaking from personal experience, having to move home in the middle of a pandemic because I was not given proper guidance last year in regards to if universities would remain open, if face-to-face teaching was going to be mandatory, if it was a requirement. I flew back from Singapore to the UK in June, and I haven't been home since, because there's always a narrative, I suppose, that university will start within the next 2 weeks, or face-to-face teaching will continue in the next 2 weeks, when they really don't know, and there hasn't been proper guidance for all university students and international students. So all in all, I think everyone could have done more.
And lastly, like, what do I feel about the media betrayal of the students? I feel like, true, like, we've been coming to the university and maybe we've been contributing to, like, the spread of the virus. But, you know, like, we're just doing what we're supposed to do. We're students. We're here to learn, just like how people are going to the office to work. Maybe the university could take more responsibility and actually do more. I feel like that should be the standard, like, you know, getting temperature, making sure that everyone is healthy, so that you could feel safe when you attend university, when you come to the campus and stuff. So that's just how I feel about it. And
being portrayed on the media hasn't really been on us mainly, only when we're spreading it around halls. So their focus, I think, we feel like it's just on like A-levels and GCSEs.
They don't really care, or like they haven't really said much, so we're all just literally at home like, well,
waiting.
Can we go back? Can we not? And all of this kind
but
of stuff.
But to be fair, we're only first year of uni, so like we're not their priority, so kind of understandable.
Yeah, true. But from the university, they've not really said much or
Oxford should be better.
Yeah.
I think overall the way that students have been portrayed in the media is really unfair. I think that they've been neglected and disregarded by the media, and sort of been locked away like animals when, like, it's not their fault that they got sent back to university and that they had to go back to uni. Like, everyone's like, they could have stayed at home, but if you're going to open the accommodation for people to go and like invite people back and then just shut them away, like, I think that's really unfair, and they should have made it clearer. Different universities should have made it clearer that this was going to happen, and the media need to stop saying that like they're stopping the spread of corona by doing this, when actually they're causing so much more mental problems for young people now, and by doing this, which could actually have more serious implications than the virus on certain people. That's my view.
How we portrayed in the media, bloody shockingly, because, you know, they're blaming coronavirus on us, not really our fault. They let us go to university, which is obviously their fault, and they knew what we were going to do, and we did it. And I think if anyone else was in our situation, they would also do what we did and socialise. Not saying I was a culprit, obviously. I locked myself away, allegedly. And yeah, thank you very much.
And in the media, originally, I think that students were portrayed in quite a negative way. There was a lot of coverage over the strikes in Manchester, and a lot of that brought a lot of people saying that, obviously speaking negatively of students. However, recently, it's been a lot more on the side of students, promoting and supporting what they're doing. I was involved in an interview with the BBC about the rent strike at Lancaster University, and I think we've seen a change in the media's perception about how the universities are actually treating the students.
I think students have been very negatively portrayed in the media. Our group's been blamed a lot for the spread of the virus. However, I haven't done much research really into how it's been spreading recently, but if students are not even going into uni, and if they do meet up with others, it's other students, it doesn't really explain how more of the elderly population are getting the virus in recent weeks. Now, I think going home for Christmas, students have got to be wary and take tests before they go home, so they obviously don't spread it to older people when they're back home. But I think the media have gone a bit overboard with blaming us.
Yeah, also I feel like most people need someone to blame with something, and it's just like obviously we want to socialise, but then I feel like the blame's just been put on us for wanting to have fun.
Yeah.
And so I just think it's just a bit unfair, but yeah.
I feel that the students in general in the media regarding the coronavirus, I think a lot of the students have been argued to being scapegoats of this pandemic, the reason why the virus has been spreading so quickly. And I think it's understandable. I think anyone at a young age who is trying to get out, trying to, go about their lives and, and do university, start new jobs, trying to make a thing out of themselves. Your early 20s is the time where you make the most of every opportunity. And I feel that everyone, it doesn't matter whether you're, older, you're sort of, in your mid 40s, 50s or 60s, everyone has had that experience, and everyone knows what it's like to be 20, where you have to grasp those opportunities. And it feels slightly, unfamiliar to all of us who are at that student age, where we want to be able to go out and explore new opportunities and ideas, but we're not allowed to. It's slightly unnatural, especially for our age group. And so I feel like it has been slightly unfair that our age group's been especially shined upon as being a bit of as being sort of the spreading generation, or that's how I've seen it specifically. But apart from that, I also believe that we need to make sure that the virus is tackled, but also there's a huge amount of welfare and well-being within the students that also needs to be addressed as well, and that is something that I think is really important.